Hello. Good morning. And welcome to our second painting class for our tutorial series here. Good day. Hope everybody's weekend's been going well. Last week we got into my technique for making skin texture, or skin, just painting skin tones, and just with that specific technique you can just make all kinds of different types of skin by doing different washes and just doing more different layers of dry brushing and so on, so until you get the results that you're looking for. Got our skin game on now. Yeah, exactly. Well, skin tones is one of the harder things to figure out, so I definitely wanted to show you guys one of the ways I overcome that challenge myself. So let's see here, let me get some of these accessories picked out here. So today, this is how things are going to be moving forward. I'm going to try to demonstrate as much painting as possible today and the next lesson, because by then it's just a little bit more repetitive, doing the same kind of techniques just over the different sections of the project, and it's just a matter of picking the right colors to use. And then I figured we'd use our last two classes to go over the post-painting stuff. So like how to transfer your character to a nice piece of wood, how I do that stuff, and how I do mixed media for the base. And we'll need two classes for that because a lot of that approach involves things that need a long time to dry. So we'll do the first kind of wave or steps of that in first lesson, and then the last lesson will be like the final touch-ups, where we can glue down little you know, like sand and all kinds of other things. So I always like a mixed media base because whenever you use mixed media, you'll notice something. It creates really nice contrast between sculpted elements and the mixed media elements. So it makes it just, I don't know, it's a great way to make a piece stand out, in my opinion. And if you actually really think about it, mixed media will always tell the viewer, without saying it, that the project is handmade, because there's really no efficient way to mass produce mixed media approaches, you know. So it'll be, it's the last frontier the digital cyborgs can ever take. Technically. Mixed media is actually something I've wanted to explore more than I have, but you know, there's always more to explore in this world that we're in. Okay. You've always been against bases? You know, there's something to be said about a nice clean, and I do this sometimes with certain pieces where it's just like a nice clean piece of wood that the character's standing on. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I like having scenic bases. It just gives you more tools to tell a story. So I like that idea of like somebody like grabbed a slice of this reality and plopped it on a piece of wood, and you know, and you can even see the edge, you know, like the cross section with like bones under the ground and roots and stuff like that, you know. Very storybook-esque, you know, like a slice out of that reality. So, but anyways, we got no time to waste. Let's get into the painting, shall we? I think I got everything. I got brushes, I got water, I need napkins. I noticed I actually like to use, instead of using a paper towel, which is actually more coarse, use tissues. It's really more absorbent and more soft, so when you're doing things like wiping away and stuff like that, it's gonna be more easier to control. It's gonna leave more subtle markings or whatever. So tissue. All your bases that belong to us. Yeah. But yeah, the base is an area, if you really think about it, that's you know, I've always liked how the major collectibles do their bases, you know, where it's even like even the trimming that goes around the bottom is like nice and detailed, you know, stuff like that. Okay, let's turn on the proper filter here. There we go. Okay, so we did our skin tone last time. There still might be some that I'm gonna do to this, but it's pretty much there. So at this point, the next section you work on would probably be, I would probably at this point do like the eyes, and then I might actually not do the beard until, oh, and I just realized we didn't paint his lip. We'll have to take care of that, the bottom lip there. So that's okay. So what I look for is like the hard to reach spots as I'm deciding what the next section is. And as I look at this, I start to realize that the shirt goes under the beard. See that? So if we were to paint the shirt first, painting the beard's gonna be a lot easier than, say, for example, we paint the beard first and then we're trying to get paint underneath the beard. It's gonna be really hard to do without getting it on the beard. So what we do first is we actually we paint the shirt first, and we could be really sloppy about it and get it all over the beard and then paint the beard. So that's how I always figure out, okay, what's the next part we do. I look at how things are overlapping and then make my decision from there. And there's also areas like in there, see in there, I can really just take the shirt color and just, you know, jam that paint in there and really get it all covered. And I can be sloppy about it, you know. Yeah. So let's do the eyes first, then we'll do the shirt, and then we'll go from there. Probably do even the shirt and all the components of the shirt, and then do the beard. Yeah, see, even in there, that's a hard to reach spot too, and right in there, and in here. So the shirt, I've figured the shirt is definitely the harder to reach place. The hat, everything is pretty open with the hat, so. But like, you know, for example, I wouldn't paint these bags first. I would paint this area under the bags first. That way when I'm doing this little space in between, I can be really sloppy about it. And then go in and do the nice clean lines and make the bags, you know, separated, so. Okay. I finished another accessory for this guy. This is a little bed roll. Makes too much sense. Well, yeah, because you gotta think, reaching the brush under something is hard. But if you just do that part first, then when you're doing the layer above it, you can even just dry brush and hit the tops, and it's just easier to do nice clean lines of separation. So, like, same with here. Where the pant leg overlaps the sock. So I would paint the sock first, before doing the pants. So socks first, totally finished, then the pants, then the rope. You know, just as it's layered up. You know, from the furthest, hardest to reach layer out. That's how you want to think. Or like for the pack here, don't paint the ropes. Paint the basket part first, fully, then do the ropes and all this stuff. So, because if you do the ropes first, it's like, well, now when I'm painting the basket, I have to be really careful and like try and get under the rope without touching it with the brush. So, okay, but we're gonna start. Let's just start with the eyes because I want to go over how we do those. So I like to do where we sculpted in the pupil of the eye. Now sometimes once you get into the painting, it might look a little weird, so you have to kind of correct any weirdness in the painting stage and make it look right. So let's get some color on there and see how we do, starting with our bottom color, which will be white. But let's not do pure white. We're gonna do a little bit of a light gray. Actually, you know what? I think we have gray in our kit. Yeah, so we have this light gray color here. Let's right, like the little metal details, like rivets and stuff like that. That happens at the end, right? You wanna do all the base colors first. Okay, let's mix this up. We'll do gray. So usually the whites of the eyes aren't actually pure white. They're usually like kind of like a light gray color. So hey, Statera, glad to have you here. Let's see. Just a reminder, since today's class, any subscriptions or anything like that, I will address you at the end of the class and thank you appropriately. So thank you very much. All right. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that and some white, some pure white. Give it a good shaking. So it looks like it was about 50-50. That's what I ended up going for there. Half white, half gray. Let's see. There we go. Mixed a little bit more than I needed, but that's okay. It happens. Alright. Do I dare try and use the big brush? Let's just grab the small brush here. Nice small brush. It's funny because I actually like when a brush has just a little bit of a curl at the end of the brush, because I'm able to reach around like corners with that little curl. So we're gonna be very careful here. I'm just gonna go in. Just be very slow. No rush. And it's okay if you get a little bit on the eyelid, because we're actually going to paint the eyelids. We'll go over the, as at the very end we go over the eyelids with like a little bit of a dark brown. Just go slow. Yeah, just go slow. If your eyes are really small. Yeah. And don't float your arm. Don't float your arm like this, okay? Notice how I have my fingers like this. I'm mounted up on the piece, and my elbow that is holding the sculpture is tucked in to my side here. So everything's really nice and tight. No floating body parts, you know, 'cause that'll cause you to wobble. I get that little tear duct painted white, and then we're gonna go in with a red wash, almost like a pink wash, to make that tear duct look pink colored. Okay, let's do the other eye now. Eyes are nice because no, you don't have to varnish it yet, Red Ticket, after the dry brushing. I'll varnish everything at the end. You can, it's not gonna hurt nothing, but oop, see, I got a little bit on the eyelid. That's a trick right there, what I just did. So whenever you put paint down, if it's in the wrong spot, you can easily undo it if you act right away. So you can either wipe it away, or you can even rinse your brush really quick in your water, wipe off the excess water, but leave the brush wet, and just like rub it away with the paintbrush. It'll immediately come up. So if you make a mistake like that, it's no big deal. Just gotta act right away. Got a little bit sloppier on the eyelids on this side, and that's okay. Like I said, we're gonna go over those eyelid areas with some brown. Right, you certainly can do that. Yep. Like here, I'll show you. So like, let's say you accidentally get paint. I'll just right here. Oops. Rinse my brush, wipe off the excess, and then there we go. Get water on it. Boom, gone. Just like that, see? So it's like you just dilute it with water, and then turn it into watery paint, and then you just soak it up with the cloth. So I always leave this on my lap. So all right, so I don't think we need to do any more layers with that. Next I'm gonna do we'll do the lips after the eyes. With the lips, we're just gonna go in with the skin tone, and then we're gonna do washes of red, maybe a little purpley red, to create that lip color. See, it's easy to get too intense with the lip color, but it's also easy to get too kind of light-handed, because the color of the lips is usually the reddest color of the whole. I saw this trick that ladies are supposed to do to pick out their lipstick color, and it's where you grab your finger like this till it changes color, and then that's how you're supposed to, that color is supposed to be your lipstick color. So it's the same kind of idea. We want to do whatever the reddest or darkest tone is in the reds. That's the color we want to use. Okay. So the next color we're gonna do is now the base color of the eye. So now we gotta choose our eye color. And I think I end up always making my character's eyes blue, but I'm thinking we're gonna use some green, I think, this time. So let's pull up a reference of just a green eye. Then you end up a goth. Let's do green eyes. With eyes, it's very easy to get too almost like too intense with your color. So let's see here. People like to over exaggerate the intensity of the color of actual eyes. Just using you know, just something like this just to guide the way and just kind of look at. See, we got like that dark green on the outside of the eye, that middle green in the middle, and then almost like a little bit of an orangey on the right next to the pupil. So let's do the middle tone that goes over the whole thing. Here's our green. Now to tone a color down, you just add gray to it. So I'm just gonna add some of this green here. There we go. See, that's super bright and vibrant, but let's take some of this gray white we use for the eyes and mix it with there. That'll tone it down. Maybe a little bit of black, some pure black. Oh, let me mix this. Give it a mix. Yeah, it's a good trick to know that to tone the vibrancy down, you add gray. I need a pokey. Just a little bit. Okay, let's take some of that, just a brush full of that black. Black is usually pretty powerful stuff, so. Then I'm pulling more of the green in until I get the shade that I want. See, pull more in. Till I see the shade that I want. It's pretty close right there. I like that nice olivey base color there. Right there. Okay. Now we want to paint the whole of the iris, or the whole kind of iris area with this color. And we want to kind of sculpted it in so we can really use our sculpted edge to guide the brush. It's okay if you end up goofing up and going over the line. You can always go back in with the white. I think I goofed up a little bit there. Yeah, for class time we have the alerts turned off. Thank you very, very much, my friend. I will catch up with all the subs at the end here. It's okay if you have to go past your sculpted area. If it doesn't look right and you have to paint a little bit past that area you already sculpted in, that's fine. As long as it looks right. The hard part of eyes is lining them up, and that's the part we already did with the sculpting. Be a little bit bigger. Trust me when I say you're probably gonna have to go a lot of back and forth here with your first set of eyes. That's okay. I did not put any black into the pupil right now. The black you're seeing is from just the natural shadow of the hole that we made. There we go. It is what it is. Hey, that's all right. It's not going anywhere. This is a timeless thing, right? Sculpting and the types of characters we're making. Sorry to hear about that, but I hope you will recover swiftly and be back to sculpting in no time. Yeah, I gotcha. I would be upset as well. It could always be worse. At least they're not amputating, right? Alright, so I am going to take that black now and I'm going to go into the pupil. Very carefully, just going to go right in there. Go on a small brush, and then once I'm in there, I give it a little wiggle. Ski bones. Alright, let's let that dry. And then we go in, I usually go in with like a lighter version of the green on the inside of the eye, right next to the pupil. And then I go in with a darker shade of the green on the very outside of the iris. That usually tends to be it. While that dries, let's go ahead and get our bottom lip going. Going in with our tan skin here. Just gonna base coat it with this tan skin, even though our base color for the skin was like a lighter version of this. It doesn't really matter in this case. So let's just a little bit. Just get a base coat on that. And I'm pulling it down into the beard, you know, creating that overlap. You don't want to just go right up to the edge and stop. We want to overlap our coats. So and then when we go back in with the beard color, we can, you know, create the real seam line. Anything else that needs skin color? I don't think so. That went on a little bit thin, so let's let that dry. And we'll add another coat. Brush had a little bit of water still on it. Now, I was looking at our characters and just looking at characters like this in general. For making our choices on the color, and what I notice is there's a similar theme for the ones that I like as far as the color design goes, and that theme seems to be there's lots of different variations of browns and natural colors, but then there's usually one part of the clothing that's a bright, vibrant color. So that's kind of the idea I'm going to go with, is you want one section of this character, like the shirt or the pants or something, where the color of it is like a like green, like a brighter green or red or blue. And then as long as you have that one section with that nice bright color, the rest of it can kind of be like leather and earthy colors and wood and all that stuff, and it works. Because if we end up making the whole character these earthy colors, it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of blends in too much for my taste. So I'm leaning more towards the realm of greens as our bright color of choice. I could also see purple. Earthy colors have earthy colors with colorful washes. Yeah, man, there's all kinds of possibilities. Well, and I'm going to show you guys how to take this brown that we're given, this basic brown, and just by mixing different colors into that brown, we're going to be able to create all kinds of different browns. Different variation of brown. Let's see here. If we go to our reference board here, I'll show you what I mean. See, I mean, you can see it kind of with this character. You know, at the initial glance, you can see how those little areas of the vibrant color stand out from all the rest. You have these bigger areas of this more neutral colors like grays and stuff. And like, for example, this guy, he's he has a little bit of that on his kilt, but it all kind of blends together because it's all kind of the same tone, right? Let's go back down here. See, like this right here stands out to me. This character's colors, because you got this these bright colors in the mix between all these kind of natural earthy colors. Same with this guy. See his red shirt immediately stands out to you. Everything else about him except the book, I would say, is pretty neutral colors, but that bright red shirt makes him kind of stand out. You know, here's an example of a character that doesn't have that. It's all more of the neutral colors. It has its own look, it just doesn't stand out as much to me. Or like this guy right here, see the blue scarf and the red flag? So that's what we want to keep in mind, is that we want to try to work in some lighter colors somewhere. Not too much, just a little bit, just a little accents. I really like, I do like the palette that this guy has. Maybe a little too green for me, I guess, but. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's do that second coat on the lip. That's dried. Throw that paint down. There we go. And then let's mix our kind of our darker green. Take our mid-tone green here. I'm just going to pull some to the side with some black. Not too dark. Grab some of that original green. A little bit more of the green. There we go. It'll be our dark color. I'm just going to use just the tip of the brush, and I'm going to go in on the very outside edge of that. So let's dip our brush again. Got a little bit up on the eyelids on doing that, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about that. See what a difference that just that outside darkened edge makes already. And now we're gonna do the same thing, but with a lighter color on the inside, right next to the pupil. So let's take our... I love doing this, by the way. You reuse colors that you've used for other parts. Take our lighter, our middle green here, and we're just gonna mix it with that light gray we used for the eye. Create our highlight color. Mix in some of the original green here to up the vibrancy. A little bit more. There we go. Like that. Okay. Just the tip of the brush. See, the very tip is what I'm hyper focused on. Making sure just that part of the brush touches it. Paint dried too quickly. I think I have to redo the skin color around the eyes. What happened? Like you got some white on there and it just dried? It's okay. So the eyelids, you'll see, and it's okay. The area around the eyes is usually a different color anyways. So even if you have to just paint the area around the eyes, it's no problem. But we're gonna clean this all up by doing the eyelids. Okay, now I think this eye needs a little bit more. I like how this one looks right here, but this one needs a little bit more white out around the eyelids. Yeah, you'll see how I'm gonna clean it up, and you won't have to worry about it. You'll just go back over with the skin tone. Sometimes I do, yeah, the little white dots. Yep. Sometimes. With his eyes, I think I'll do a drop of UV resin just right in the middle. You just have to be very careful because if the drop of UV resin touches the eyelids, it distorts the drop, and then it doesn't look very good. Okay. Also, I want to go back in with black and kind of clean up these shapes of these pupils. Second here. You can use a toothpick. That's a good tip, by the way. You can use it if you feel like you have more control with toothpick. You can use a toothpick and just add paint to the toothpick more than you do with a brush. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with our dark green color on this one. Oh, I want to make this a little bit more. Yeah, that's looking better. Sometimes you gotta you gotta go back and forth with your colors with eyes till it looks right. All right, so our next thing. No, I actually also add some dark green. Sometimes you could do this at the on the underside of the eyelid here. We can do some of this dark green. It's kind of the natural shadow that the eyelid gives on the eye. Go. Okay, now we take just a tiny bit of red here, and we're gonna water it down really thin, just like when we did the skin wash, but I would say even thinner than that. Just a little drop. Okay, don't need much. I'm just gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4. Really thin. Okay. Really thin. See, it's like super watery. And I'm just going to go in around the eye like so. So this leaves a little bit, just a little bit of red kind of around the base of the eye. I also leave a little bit more in the tear duct area. If you need to remove some, just wet your brush, dry it off, and then it should just, the brush will just drink it in. Right, just like that. Dry it off and it touched and it just drinks it up. See that? That's that really small, that's just that really small touches. Okay. And after we've gotten the eyes to the point where we're happy with it, you're gonna do the eyelids, and we're just gonna take some of this brown here. Just a little bit. And I'm gonna go just bring that eyelid back out. And this is gonna make that line nice and clean. We can lighten up this bottom eyelid, because notice how it looks more like eyeshadowy. We can go back over with the skin tone and subtle that out. Or if we like how it looks, we can let it stay. Really tipping it up so I can really get the underside of that eyelid. That's what makes the eye look nice and clean. Okay. Now let's take a little bit of like a purpley tone. Do we have purple in our base colors? We do. We have a purple in our base color set. We're gonna make like a purpley reddish wash, and that's gonna be what we put on for the lips, and possibly even under the eyes if we want, because this is an older character. So So let's just add some purple right here. Just a tiny bit. Oh. Oh, way too much. Okay. Gonna use the patented drink the paint back up technique. Squeeze the bottle, squeeze, and then tip it upside down and drink. There we go. Back in the bottle you go. Okay, so take this. You know, just mix it into the red here. Some of this purple. Yeah, it's looking pretty good right there. Let's see how that looks. I'll put this on the lip area. That's a little bit too thin. Almost too watery. Yeah, that's okay. Let's get some of the red here. We'll mix it a little bit thicker. Something like that. Okay, let's give that a try. That looks pretty good. Now let's just try and put some of this around the eyes. So I'm about to show you something. So we apply it like this, right? It's a little bit too intense. Rinse the brush, get the excess water off, and then just tap the watery brush around the edges of that. And you can almost blend it just with that watery brush. See how we did that? All right, let's do that again on the other side. So paint in the area first. Then rinse the brush, wipe the excess water. You don't want it completely dry. And then, so with just like a damp brush, you just kind of feather out the edges, move the paint around, and hit areas that are a little too intense to kind of thin those areas out a little bit. And you use your finger to remove the paint in an area you don't want it. Or you can use a cloth too, but And then once that dries, if you decide that that's a little too dark for your liking or too intense, you just dry brush over with the base skin tone and settle it out and just go back and forth until you're happy with it. I can see this side being a little bit actually darker still. Your eyes, painting eyes. Eyes are the hard part, we'll say that for sure. Okay, so and you can use the same color here, this purpley color, purpley red, for the fingernail beds as well as a good base start. So we'll just grab some of that and we'll just paint the fingernails with this color too. Gonna look really dark initially, but then we'll add layers on top to lighten it up. It's all about layering, ladies and gentlemen. And you get synergy with your paint job if you use the same colors around the character. Okay, that nail is going to be a little bit harder to reach. There we go. All right, next is, I think we will actually start with the shirt next. I'll kind of show you guys how to approach that. I'm not sure if we have that set over here, Diamond. Try exclamation FAQ. I haven't gotten all the commands completely switched over. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at this, I'm deciding, okay, what color do we want to make this shirt part? It's kind of like more rugged looking vest color. That's going to be right next to the beard. We got these nice sleeves here. I can imagine these sleeves being a lighter, almost like off-white color. And so maybe this will be our item of color. Maybe like a maybe a green. or purple. Maybe green. Yeah, let's go with our initial instinct, which is kind of like an olive green. Yeah, green. So let's paint our middle color. So not the darkest of the green and not the lightest of the green, but let's make a middle color. And then we base coat the whole shirt with that color. And then we just simply go in with a darker version as a wash and a lighter version as a dry brush to make the shirt look good. And you just kind of go back and forth with those. So let's mix a little bit more of this. So I'll do about that's good. We're using Reaper Miniatures paints, right? This is the starter kit that you can get from Reaper Miniatures, like $35. Comes with pretty much all the colors you really need to be able to mix anything you need. Okay, so now we'll add a little bit of black to this. I'll put a little bit of black right up here. I like to do this when I mix colors. You just you add the elements next to each other and then you slowly mix them together till you have the right color. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white over here. Just like that. I'll take our bigger brush. And first we'll add a little bit of black. See where we end up there. Okay, yeah. It's in the direction. A little bit more black. And a little bit of white. I want to keep it a little bit on the richer side because we want this to be kind of a more colorful element. It's pretty good. I think that's a good base right there. Okay, let me thin it out a little bit with the one paintbrush full of water there. Get that consistency really nice. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and base coat this shirt here, and I'm not gonna worry about getting the paint on everything else around it. In fact, I want the paint to get on everything else around it because it creates an overlap, which means you're not gonna have these little spots where the gray is showing because you didn't, you know, because the layers didn't overlap enough, you know. So I really want to kind of like jam the paint into all these little areas, get the sides of the belt. It would be better to have some of the green showing than some of the gray in the end, you know, so. And the main focus here is coverage. We want to make sure everything that needs to be covered with this color is covered. Yeah, what a difference, huh? A little darkness around the eyes. Once you start messing around with washes, you really discover that there's just so much you can do, you know? And you can just keep going back and forth between washes and dry brushes, adding different layers of color. And you just gotta almost, you want to go with kind of like an instinctual approach. Follow your instincts, you know? So I'm really jamming the paintbrush in there and really getting everything coated on this hard to reach spot. Because even though we can't really see in there, we just don't want any gray showing in the final product, so we have to make more of our color. Same within here. Just really, you want to overlap, you know, you want to go over where the line is. And that way when you butt the sleeve color right up to there, looks like a nice clean seam, you know. With no gray showing. Yes, definitely a hard to reach spot there. Ever sculpted with colored clays? I have. A little bit. Let's make some more of our green color. It's okay when you remake a color if it's not perfect. In fact, it even helps your paint job if it's not perfect, because it just adds a little more diversity. So just try and get it as close as you can, but don't worry too much if it's not perfect. Bit of white. A bit more black. Tad bit more white. Dip our paintbrush in the water. What happens if there are bubbles in the clay after baking? I never know if I get them all out. Air bubbles are no problem. It doesn't cause any problems. Don't worry about it. So now you can really imagine if we did not paint this shirt part first, it'd be a big pain in the butt. Trying to get into all these little areas. So always remember, start with the hardest, the under layer, the furthest layer down, the hardest to reach spots. Paint those areas first, and that way you can be really nice and sloppy and not have to worry about getting paint everywhere. Now it's worth mentioning there's some color theory going on here, which is complementary colors. Which, if you're not sure, there's just certain colors that go really well together. And that might help guide your decision making. You know, like orange and blue. And I've always liked the combination of purple and green. Those aren't complementary, but I always think that they look really nice together. That's why I think the purple around the eyes worked really well, because they get the green color of the eyes and then green shirt. And maybe we'll do that theme. See, and this is how you kind of go with the flow, and maybe we have a theme going there of this purple and green with browns in the mix, you know. I could see that. Like the cloth part of his hat here being like a nice royal purple color, you know. And then you get some metallics like golds and silvers in there too. So we just want to really make sure we got it all covered here. Turn the piece around, change the lighting so you can really see. Now, the only area you should be careful about is any areas you've already painted. You know, be careful with, don't be so loose with painting next to an area you've already established. To get more careful. Looks pretty good. I think we got it all covered. Doing good, fireman. Alright, so let's let our base color dry, and then we're gonna do some highlights and some, we'll probably do washes first and then highlights. Or we will kind of like, we're gonna force the shadows and the highlights. So naturally this is a sculpture, right? So technically it's like, oh, we could just paint it this one color and everything should be good, right? Highlights and shadows are already happening here. But what we're going to do is we're going to force the shadows and the highlights and just kind of elevate it even more, you know. So we're going to make the areas that are already in shadow, we're going to paint them to be in shadow. And then the areas that are highlighted, we're going to highlight. It's also worth noting that when you take a base color of something like this green and we add white to it to make a highlight, it's also going to look more of like a worn out part. So like just like the fading on jeans is, you know, the faded worn out stuff usually is very, it's like the base color but with white added or gray to like take the vibrancy down. So you can also tell that kind of story with where you decide to highlight is. Like for example, on this one, we're probably going to take a washed out version of the color, and we're going to go through the on the edges of the sleeves where they would be more worn, because it's an edge of anything gets more worn. So I think that's probably the only spot there, to be honest. Maybe the edge here in the middle will bring that edge out, and the edge on here bring that out. And so one thing you can do too, as you guys are doing this and you're waiting for drying times, is you can bounce to another area. For example, I could start doing the socks here, you know, different sections. So then you're bouncing back and forth between doing the green shirt and then the socks. So it's probably something we will do. And that way you can just kind of keep, you're like constantly working on something. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta add something to the camera here real quick. Yeah, if anybody's new coming in today, this is today's class day, so I just kind of stay focused on the work and articulating how to do it. So welcome in. Good to have you. On all our other streams through the week's a little bit different, so you're able to oh, okay, hold on, let's see. You're able to ask more questions, get more answers. Let's see. 1 second. I have to add something to the camera. That's a bit better. See the olivey color. All right, let's actually do that. Let's start doing the socks now. Let's think here. So we got green going on here, probably some sort of lighter color for the sleeves. I can imagine the pants being like a brown, and then the shoes being sort of a brown. So I think this will be a lighter color, kind of like just a standard this white sock. Let's take a look at reference, see if we can get some ideas. Probably some sort of like off-white, some sort. There's pattern socks, but I don't think we'll paint any patterns. You can freehand patterns if you want, but usually I like to sculpt that in if I plan to do that. Usually. Let's start with let's see if our gray is still going over here. Oh, it is good. We'll use gonna use this kind of off-white color here. Gray, a little bit of gray. Ooh. Oops, a little green got in the mix there. That's okay. We'll just go with it. Oh, excuse me. And again, this can be pretty sloppy because it's the first layer over here. Lots of great texture to work with on this. So the more textured the area is, the harder it is to paint. So if you thin the paint out a little bit more, it will flow into that texture much easier. So, but you might end up having to do 2 coats that way if it gets too thin. Just enough paint to do that. Perfect. And make sure we got it tucked up in there. Full coverage. Looks good. And now our green is dry and we can start the next step of that. So let's go back to our green here, our base color for our green. I'm gonna add a little bit more black, and we're gonna create a darker version of the color. What about the side of the shoe? Well, it's just too dark in there, you wouldn't even be able to see it. So that's just gonna become part of the shoe color. The darkness is, it's just, you don't see the sock poking through, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you could see the sock poking through, you would paint the sock color in there. Okay, so I'm gonna take some of our original green here off to the side. And we're gonna darken it. Oh, it's really dark. That's okay. We'll make that work. Now there's two types of washes. There's this, it's like a thicker wash where it's not quite it's not super watery, but it is thinned out. And then there's the really watery wash where it just kind of will go everywhere. But I want to show you what I do with this usually. So one of the dark areas is down here down here. So I'm gonna paint this area with this thicker wash, just like this. Okay. And then I will rinse the brush, wipe off the excess paint, and then I will blend the edge just like this. So there's no seam line, you know, so it's just a nice subtle transition from this darker to this middle tone. So you go back in with the dark color. You're just kind of strategically placing it in areas you want to kind of make look darker. Be up under the beard here. And then if there's any like seam lines where it's like a hard cutoff between the two colors, you rinse the brush, wipe off the excess water, and then you just kind of feather out that seam line. Darker in here. Need to make more color here. Let's do a green. It's our middle color. A little bit of white in there. Bring some of that here. Darken it. Probably need more black. Black's always one of those colors that a little bit goes a long way. So just be slower with it. That's good. There's our shadow color again. Thin it out. Okay. I'm just gonna go into these darker areas and just kind of push those back. So darker here, and then it'll get lighter around the edge of the sleeve there. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's get one of our dry brushes here, our makeup brushes. And we're gonna do our highlight. Take some white. Grab some of our base green here. And we'll lighten it up. And you can layer this as many times as you want. So like you can subtly increase the brightness, you know, and just kind of keep doing dry brushing. Or you can just do kind of one pass, just depends on how you... I'll usually go to about this level of lightness. We'll do dry brush, and then I'll go one step higher and do like little edge highlights on like the edges of the sleeves. Wipe off the excess till there's barely any coming off, just like that. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna bring out these highlight areas here. And this will also bring out the that texture, that detail. Now, when you dry brush, you want to go perpendicular to the detail. So the lines of the detail are going this way. So I'm brushing against that. So that way the lighter color just hits the tops of the detail. It doesn't go into the recesses. Yep, just one dab. I dabbed a little bit more, just a little bit, but pretty much one brush load there. There we go. All right, and then finally we're gonna do edge highlight. So we're gonna take rinse our brush here and go to our I've not worked on movie props before. No, I've kind of existed in the streamer space as an artist. I've never really got into any of the mainstream scenes. I just kind of found my niche streaming and creating sculpture, and that's just kind of where I've remained. I don't really have a local presence whatsoever or much of a name in the movie prop making scene at all, so don't even know I exist probably. Hey, thanks, Melody. Yeah, if you're coming in, you're new, this is a part of a class you guys are joining in. Every Sunday we have class time, 2 hours, and we've been working through this character start to finish, which you can check out the playlist for on YouTube or on Twitch. And you can essentially watch the whole creation of this character and even follow along if you want to learn. So, a free tutorial series. All right, so let's take this green again, and we're gonna get it even higher highlight, just like 1 shade higher, like that. That's pretty good. And I'm gonna get this a little bit watery so it flows off the brush nicely, because we're on a nice thin line here. Can't beat that price. That's right. Okay. And sometimes if your brush is too loaded up, you just dab it on the palette to get rid of the big glob, and there you go. And I'm gonna go over this edge here, just really subtly touch that edge. Just like that, see? Bringing that edge out. And then here on the edge of the sleeves as well. So those little touches can make a huge difference. It's okay, Hike Deer. You failed the class. You'll have to take it over again. That's pretty much all I'll do for that shirt there. That's kind of the basic procedure for painting all the sections. And then there's some different variations, like when you're doing, for example, like the wicker basket, where there's less of a highlight, but there's more of washing. So like we'll paint this base color, kind of like a base wicker basket color, kind of like a bright, like a toned down yellow. And then we do like a brown wash over the whole thing. And it's gonna, the wash will work into all these little recesses and make it look really good. So let's think here. So tomorrow, next week will be the last painting class, and then we're gonna try to jump into actually doing the base work. So just remember all the tactics we used on this shirt, you can apply to every section of the character. Okay, so and I think next week what we'll try and do is maybe I'll get into the metallics, like painting the buttons and the metallic colors, and you know, just some oddball things like the beard, how I'm going to take care of the beard, and how I'm going to take care of the basket. Some of the things that are just a little more different, and I'll show you just more of the using the base coating with the wash and the dry brush. So washes are usually darker, dry brush is usually lighter. And don't be afraid to experiment too, because sometimes you can use like a lighter wash and it'll create a completely different effect. So but with those strategies you can get right. So the layers on the fingernails will be, yeah, so I put my darkest color in for the fingernail, and then I'm just gonna go in and I'm probably gonna do a little bit of dry brushing. I'll probably do an edge highlight right on the edge of the fingernail, you know, bringing out just that edge, and then do that little cuticle, little half moon shape there, see, just like you see on your normal fingernails. So but yeah, but ultimately that color is looking good. It's a little bit darker on this hand, so I'll probably lighten it up, but this hand I did more of a wash, so that's why it looks nicer. Yeah, just small stuff like that. And just always remember when you're deciding what to paint next, make sure the layers underneath are painted first, you know. So for example, when I go to paint this boot, the shoe, the layers underneath would be the socks, and I don't want to paint this metal strap or these little stitches or this, because the bottom layer on the shoe is this part right here. So we paint all the colors for this part, do all our layers and dry brushing, and that way you can be dry brushing and doing washes on the shoe without worrying about messing up these little bits, you know. And then when it's all done, then you go back in and you go with like a either dark color or light color, and you do each individual strand, and then you do this belt part, you know. So this is the way you have to think about this stuff, is do the base layer first, then do all the little stuff, you know, after it looks good. So like for example on the shirt, now after the shirt's done, now I can technically go in and we could paint the buttons, and we could paint this belt and all this stuff now, because the base layer of the shirt's done. And always remember when you're going in here and you're doing these nice lines and trying to make it all nice and tidy, if you make a mistake, just quickly rinse your brush, wipe off the excess water, and then you can erase any paint you end up adding somewhere you don't want it, if you just do it right away. If you wait, it'll dry, and that's when there's a problem. So if you get paint where it's not supposed to go, just get it nice and watery, soak it up with your little towel, your napkin. But yeah, this guy's well on his way. I'm excited. I think what I'll try to have done is a lot more of the base, just the base coloring that you've already seen. So probably like the pants and the socks and the shoes and the shirt and parts of the hat. And I'll leave certain things like the wicker basket, I think would be good. How I'm gonna deal with this wood here. I've kept a spare brush in water because I make mistakes a lot. There you go. Stuff like that. I might leave one shoe and show you how to do like kind of like a nice leather texture in the next class. So maybe just stay focused on stuff that's just like this, like just cloth, the cloth elements, you know. But yeah, it's exciting. He's coming to life. Yeah, he's gonna have a mushroom in his right hand. Right there. Little mushroom. He's on a mushroom hunt, more like that. So it's lined up with his eye. The wooden staff. Okay, yeah, we'll do that too. The wooden staff and how to get a wood effect. Actually, so wood, so you'll start to think about this when you look at an object and you wonder how to color it like that object. When I look at wood, what do I see here is I see this yellow color. See this yellow color first. So I see that as a base color, and then I see a dark brown wash over the top of it where that yellow is showing through. So I'm gonna take that same approach when I do the staff, and we'll probably do that next week, where you naturally would think, oh, let me just paint this brown. Like, no, actually paint this like a yellow. Paint it your highlight color, like a bright yellow, and then just do washes of brown on top, and that creates it'll go into all these little recessed details we did, and it'll make the wood grain pop out. And but yeah, we'll get into that for sure. So always more to do. Okay, well, that's gonna take care of the class for today. Let's switch over and take a look at what you guys have been working on over on the Discord. I think we're on what, hashtag week 12? Are we hashtag week, or no, hashtag week 13, I think is where we're at. And 12, oh, okay, 12. Hashtag week 12, okay. So if you want to submit something now, go to Discord and type in hashtag week 12 with your submission so I can see it. If you want to submit something for us to look at next week, type in hashtag week 13, all one word. And that way it pops up. So let's take a look here. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, this is the exciting part of the class for me. Let's see what everybody's up to. How are the students doing? Let's see here. Hello, go for it. Let's go to the cnotbusch school here. Hands do take time, yeah, they do. Just take your time with it. I'm gonna type in hashtag week 12. All right, got 15 submissions, 15. Let's take a look, shall we? Newest to oldest, okay. Pogus Champus, week 12. While I'm still quite a ways behind, but making progress slowly but surely, decided to make the mushrooms light up too. So that and the LED light bugs really slowed me down. But I think they'll be worth the extra time they are taking, of course. He at least has arms and hands now, and I'm starting to give him a tunic. I think it will have a hood that he will have on his head. And the LED lights on the lightning bugs will light the face up nicely. Yeah, see, that's actually really good. Smart. Yeah, because I never like doing hoods or hats on characters, because then like their face is like shrouded in darkness, you know, and you just can't really appreciate any of the face sculpting you did that way. But that's a great solution to that. So I'm waiting on some new ones that should be here next week. The mushroom will be glowing green and will light him up a bit too. The pic and video with LEDs lit up is from a few weeks ago, but figured I'd include it with the batch of pics so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm going for in the final composition. I think so. Either way, you're gonna learn a whole lot, and that's the real mission here, right? Okay. Yeah, like a nice, like a nice big glowy mushroom. Okay. And is that translucent clay? Where is the light located at? Is it in the top here? Somewhere in there? Because one thing you need to experiment with is the thickness of the translucent clay. If it's too thick, the light won't transfer as well as you would think. So you might have to, I don't know, it looks like, do you have, so you're gonna have the mushroom cap on and the light's coming under the mushroom? You almost have like a two-part mushroom where the cap comes off and you can do all the light work and it faces towards the bottom and then put the cap on. That's what I can see here. Because if that's the case, what you can do is you can Dremel in the bottom or the top side of this part, and then the cap will just cover it up. So you can get it so it's thin enough that the light will really shine through. So it'll take some experimenting. So looks good. There we go. Very nice. I like his pose. He's like freeze framing mid-adventure as he's hiking through the woods. The glowing mushroom woods. Hey, look at that guy right there. There we go. Yep. It should work just like we're seeing it with the, if you have the hood and then his face will light up under the hood. I think it's really good. Really good. Plays the video. Awesome. I'm excited to see that come to fruition. Nice work. All good in the hood. That's right. Toadstool Titan. Getting close to caught up. I'm pretty happy with the way he has come together after the eyebrows and ears were put on. Well, let's take a look. Oh, what a kind soul. I like the way the ears turned out with the little hair on the ears. Yeah. Cool. Very, very gremlin-y. Isn't it crazy how much the character can change when you just change one little thing or add one little detail? This is where the addiction of sculpting really sets in, because you start to realize that the possibilities are endless. Think about this. You could sculpt this character over and over and over again for the rest of your life and come up with completely different unique designs every time. It's nuts. The possibilities, there's too many. That's awesome. Yeah, you've done such a good job. Great work there, Toadstool. I like the shape of your basket. It's got a really nice shape to it. Very good. Keep it up, my friend. It's looking great. Norpa. I've been busy and haven't had much progress this week, and I'm a little afraid to start making hands. Don't know why. You should be. I think everybody will have a hard time with hands, but think about this. The things that cause you the most grief, you should run towards, not away from, because the more times you like bash your head against it, the closer you are to overcoming it and it no longer being something you run away from. You know what I mean? So it's the only way to actually get to that point. So you have to embrace the challenge, endure the struggle. Remember, that feeling of struggle is a good thing. It means you're learning. If you don't feel like you're struggling even a little bit, then you're probably not learning anything. We want growth. Oh, nice rope. Man, you guys are making me want to do a rope. I'm gonna have to add a rope to my guy. Every great adventurer needs a rope. Yeah, it's good. Accessories. It's funny that so yeah, on one hand you have the allure of doing accessories, which is fun and nice, and everybody loves to do the accessories. But then you have the hands staring down at you at the other side. So I'm just gonna make a few more accessories. Well, your character has a lot of accessories. No hands yet. What's going on here? That's awesome. It's good. It's looking really good. It's the fun part. The accessories are the fun part. That's why I like making these type of characters, because you get to make a lot of accessories. Lots of fun. Nice, Norpa. Keep it up. You got this, don't worry. Embrace the struggle. Always remember, feeling of struggle is a good thing. Tell yourself this. Alright, Torn, week 12. Almost forgot to paint his little chest area. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright. Working on the paint work. There we go. Yeah, it turned out good. Reads well. Yep, and once you add in the what I showed with the eyes and everything, it's gonna really bring them to life. This character. Now, it's worth mentioning paint, and I know this specifically from being a streamer. Showing the sculpture work is very easy through the lens of the camera, but showing the paint, the true colors of paint work, is very difficult through the lens of a camera. So don't worry if it's not showing on the camera like it is in real life. It's just really hard to do that. It's really hard to make the camera show the true colors. So, but as far as I can tell, this is looking great. It's all base coated, and I'm gonna show you guys what to do with this after the base coats. Maybe we'll get into that in the next lesson too, where I'm gonna show you how to use washes to make those really pop, really come to life. So, because what you do is when you paint something that's metal, what I usually do is I make it nice and shiny, like it's brand new, and then we make it not brand new by adding layers of dirt and grime and grease and stuff on top. So there'll just be like just the edges that are shiny, and everything else is like really grimy and dirty. So, but I always like to start with that nice squeaky clean base and then dirty it up from there. So okay, looking good, Torn. Clayton, that's the skin done. Looking forward to more progress. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good. You're on the path, my friend. You're on the path. Painting journey begins. Okay, Jabez. Painting journey begins. Lots of touching up and to do. Plenty of mistakes were made, and I'm reasonably happy with the results. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, yeah, looking good. Some good dry brushing. See when you do the dry brushing, it just brings out all that texture you worked hard to do comes out. See these little edge highlights on this belt? That makes that belt pop out. Little edge highlights there. Really good. Really, really nice. And this, don't worry, this reads a little weird because it's shiny. Get some of that ultra matte varnish, and when you put it on there, it's gonna take the shine out of it completely, and it's gonna look like it's actually made out of cloth. So, but the leather you might want to leave a little bit shiny because it's leather, and leather is a little bit shiny. So, but we'll get, oh, you know, we gotta get into that in the next lesson too. That you can have like a matte varnish, satin, which is usually in the middle, and then gloss, and you can make things look like they're made out of different materials depending on what varnish you use on those different areas. So looks good. Oh yeah, it looks nice, man. Really good. Great color choice here for the bag. There we go. Very good. I feel like this is not Jabez's first painting rodeo. That's what I think. That looks great. Looks like it's made out of like a walnut colored wood, or like dark cherry. Sherry. Very nice. Taser Phrase did a post, but put a space. Okay, I'll check it. I'll make sure we don't miss it. That looks good. Really good. Nice, perfect, like redness on the nose there. I was thinking about, I'll probably amp the redness of the nose on my guy too. Just that nice, just little pink red, maybe dry brushing the red a little bit with the makeup brush right on the nose there. Looks good. Awesome. Nice work, Jabez. Doing good. Mr. Brightside. Okay, wait, let me, before I forget, let's make sure. Wait, okay. Taser face. Oh, we haven't got that far yet anyways. Oh yeah, right here, okay. Taser face. Okay, week 12. My first ever sculpt. The eyes are not the best. Was a bit struggling with that, but going to keep this and going to finish my first sculpt and look back at the improvements. All tips are welcome. Yeah, eyes is something everybody struggle with, and that's, remember, like we said, struggle is a good thing. That means you grew. That means you grew. That's good. Well, I mean, he looks like a character. It's definitely gonna look really nice. I could see this eye needing to be a little bit more open, but if not, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be the way that character's looking, you know, which is fine. Yeah, it's a nice head shape. Yeah. Looking good, Taserface. Doing a great job. You're right on track. So I imagine you have the next lesson, which was the texturing and the finishing. I would go in and I would open his eye a little bit more. A little bit more. Or if you're going for a smile look, like he's smiling, then just need to add a little bit more puffiness to the cheeks and then keep the eyes just like they are. Do I sell any sculpting starter kits? I don't. No. I have a list of things you can get. It's not too hard of a list to kind of track down. If you watch the first episode of this class, I go over all the tools and materials and things you need. And I believe we have links in the Discord that you can check out. Okay. Mr. Brightside. I think I have a decent start. Very hard to get an accurate photo. As soon as the brush touched the sculpture, I realized I didn't sculpt enough texture. Looking forward to the rest of the painting class. Yeah, no, I'm sure you did plenty. But yeah, when you do, the more texture work you do, the less painting work you have to do. If that makes sense. Because the texture does the work for you with the washes and the dry brushing. That's an automatic process that the texture is doing for you, you know. So, but yeah, it's good to know. That's why, like, when I sculpt, when I do metal, the areas that I want to be darker that's on the metal, I stipple little dots in those areas and like feather them outwards, and that's so when I later on and I'm painting it and I go to do a wash, it naturally creates a gradient already because of the texture. So all hindsight is 20/20, as they say. So, but I think this is looking great. Really good. what a guy. I love the plant in the background. It's like he's already part of the world. The world's coming to life. This is exciting. I really like his mustache. It really goes with that character. The wind in the beard, yeah, and that like really prickly mustache, you know. There we go, Mr. Brightside. Looking good, my friend. I'm excited to see more from you. Fairy Foundling. I've made slow progress, but there is progress. That's good. Bits of life getting in the way and all. I put a wrap on the staff, and my little dude has a vest now. He will have an over-the-shoulder bag, as noted by the strap dent. Hands up next. Oh boy, here we go. Hands next. That's good. Looks really clean. Nice and clean. Ah, yep, okay. I like his waistcoat. His little vest. Great job on the wrinkles. Wonderful. Is that a texture I see on there? Is that like a vertical? Looks like vertical line texture, almost like corduroy. That's gonna look nice. Nice work, Fairy. I'm excited to see your project come to life more. It's looking really good. He looks smart. Hey, he does, doesn't he? La Vida Lux. Finished class day 4 and my socks and shoes, which only took me a day and a half to sculpt. Can't wait to continue. Alright. Yeah, looks good. Good things take good time, my friends. Good things take good time. I'll usually spend a day or a day and a half on shoes, so. Sometimes even I spend 2 days on shoes, so don't worry about that. 1 day for each shoe. Yeah, nice and clean. The cleaner a job you do with like stuff like this with the laces, when we get into painting that, it becomes much easier because, yeah, the brush will just naturally roll on those shapes. Get you nice clean paintwork. So looking good. Keep it up. Right. That's true. Yeah. So one thing I've learned is you take a paintbrush with the clay glue and you dip the paintbrush in the clay glue and like dab the clay glue all over those little details, and they'll be more likely to stick. But even then, sometimes you'll lose 1 or 2. I mean, I didn't lose any on my shoes, and it's because I did that little technique. I think I lost a single one. Yeah. That clay glue will help really cement it all in there, so. Indeed. Okay, let's see what we got here. Sapphire. I've been doing a lot of work, but not a lot of visible progress to see. Hair and hat are done, and attached some accessories. For fun, I decided to use glow-in-the-dark clay on the mushrooms. Oh, hey, look at that. No, it looks good. He's very Gandalf-esque. I like it. I like the hat you chose too. Really nice. I like this whole little spot right here. Really nice detail. Oh yeah. Very nice. Is that a feather in the hat right there? Nice. Gotta have the mug, the drinking mug. They all have different looks, which is amazing. I know, right? Isn't that cool? And that turned out really good. That's a fun little addition. Smart thinking. So you just want to, when you end up painting those in the future, you just leave those parts unpainted, so that way that will glow through. Very good, Sapphire, very good. Red ticket. I'm not using Reaper paints. The paint I have is a bit opaque, so I had to do multiple coats. Yeah, it's just, yeah, different paints have different levels of pigmentation. So some paints, they just don't have good pigments, so you need to coat many times to actually get the colors to cover, which can be annoying. So yeah, it just could be the paint that you're using. Let's see what we got here. But it looks good. Looks good. You can make any paint work. That's for sure. Awesome. I want to see you dry brush a little more of the redness on the nose. Maybe a little bit on the cheeks, you know? Cheeks and nose. There's the other fellow. Red ticket doing 2 characters. The brothers. Same with this guy. Great base skin color. Just need to bring out some of those reds. Take that makeup brush and really faintly build it up. It'll make a big change there. Sherry. Such a fun pair, yeah, right? Sherry. He's starting to come to life. I feel his skin is a bit too colorful, but I suspect it will balance out more as I get, or as more of him gets color. We will see. Let's see. I mean, as far as I could tell with the camera, looks fine. Yeah, it looks great. It's hard to see, but yeah, you have to imagine when you get the eyes in and the hair around the eyes and all that stuff starts to really change your perception of it. So it looks good. a kind soul. Looks great. You can even see the redness on the nose looking good. I would maybe go a little bit more, but it does look good already as it is, so it's up to you. Saradini. I was trying to work on my 2 characters at the same time, letting one dry as I painted the other. As I am away for the weekend and won't be time to work on them until after the class, I am reasonably happy with the way this one is looking. Although I might dirty his feet and hands a little when I have the base ground color worked out. The older one needs more work, as I was working under light, and when I took him into the sunlight, he was looking very patchy. Yeah, the light in your workshop definitely will change things, but here's something to remember. You can work under like really high intensity light and see all kinds of little problems with your paint job. But the reality is the type of lighting that's just in a normal room is how everyone's gonna see the work. You know what I mean? You have to think about where it's going to be displayed and what kind of lighting it's going to be shown in, because that does change things, you know. Something that looks great in the workshop, you take outside in the bright sunlight and you're going to see every little thing, you know, that you missed or whatever. So, but at the end of the day, as long as it looks good in a normal room light setting, then there you go. It's going to look good. So right. Well, you got more shadows at play and stuff like that. Let's see what we got. And yeah, the dirtying on the feet, definitely good call on waiting for that. Cause yeah. But essentially you just dry brush. You just dry brush whatever your dirt color will be. nice and steadily. So. Painted a bunch of tiny purple dots on one of mine, and then turned off the work lights, and you couldn't see them at all. Yeah, see? So all that work for nothing, essentially. Yeah, it's looking good. Good skin tone. Good job, Saradini. Mr. Morph. Even if it's just because I'm one day late, but I won't be home before Sunday anyway. Finish assembling hands, done arms, clothes, half satisfied with the results, but still learning a lot. Added, not baked yet, eyes and teeth using Cosclay translucent. The bag in the side is not fixed yet. Need to think about a nice way to display. Next step is hairs / facial hairs, but all my tests look bad, so still brainstorming. Then I'll be back on the turtle, legs, head, and some more accessories because it's never enough. All right. Oh yeah, well, I like his little smile. That's cool. What a difference that makes. I would like to see, and you can still do another layer here, but I'd like to see more wrinkling in the shirt. You know, we should see, right now it's a little bit too non-wrinkled, you know, so you can add a little layer over this and just really intensify the wrinkling. Now that I see that from that angle. I mean, see here I can see a little more wrinkling, which is good. But on this one I could see possibly adding some more. Or maybe it's just that angle. There we go. I like the sleeve ends for sure. Oh, okay, so there's some wrinkling there. I see that. That's alright. Ah, yes. The never-ending accessories. Yeah, alright. Well, it's going good there, Morph. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. You're gonna have the turtle kind of like, almost like how a horse goes up on its two legs. Like maybe the turtle's starting to do that or something. Like reaching back with its head for the carrots. Very nice there, Morph. Now let me refresh this and see if... I think we got everybody. Alright. Cool. Okay, so next week, hashtag week 13 for you guys' submissions. Great work, everybody, and everyone that's still working, keep it up. Some progress is better than no progress. Doesn't matter how long it takes, okay? So just keep your hands moving, keep working. We want to establish good working habits of finishing things that we start before we start anything new. Okay, so yes. And I have officially announced that we will continue class after this project is done. The next class will be how to sculpt a dragon. We'll be coming up with some sort of dragon character, and we'll be sculpting a dragon together. And I'll get more into how we're actually going to fund that, but I have a good plan that we're going to move forward with, and we'll go from there. So, but we're going to do the class regardless, and yeah. That so we have one more painting lesson with this, and then 2 lessons where we go over finishing and the base materials and stuff like that for people that are using mixed media base approach. So, but yeah. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining me. Let me check here. Thank you, Hike the Earth, for the 59 months of support, my friend. Renmakia, thanks for the raid. Welcome. Kathura Moonsea, thank you for the 20 months. Horns Fan with the 8 months, thank you very, very much. And hey, sorry about your face, gifting a sub to the Underbeard. Thank you. Thanks for the support, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here. I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Remember, this Wednesday, upcoming Wednesday, is Emma's birthday party. So tune in 9 a.m. Central Time. She's got, you guys sent her a lot of gifts, so she's got a lot of gifts to unwrap. It'll be the best one yet, I think. So join us. We'll sing happy birthday. We'll have some cake. I'll have some cake and describe the taste to you guys so you can enjoy the cake through me. And then she'll open gifts, and then we'll get off stream and spend the whole day with her. I'm probably taking Tuesday off to kind of get things ready for that. So there'll probably be no stream on Tuesday because I got to get the Sadie area finished and get that all set up. So but we will be live on Monday. So okay, let's find someone to raid. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't think I have anything else for you. I'm excited to get more painting in on this guy for sure. I'll probably have more of this paint job developed, but I'll leave out specific things that I think is good for you guys to see. I'll just paint the things that are the same as what I just painted this week, so we can have the piece progressed a little bit more. So who is online today? What do we have today? I'll drop you guys off with Miniatures Den. Gonna see a whole nother side of painting with this fellow right here. He is a fantastic painter. Paints miniatures and just does such a crazy job. So let's go check out his work. All right, my friends. Till next time. Bye-bye.